Joe, why did you have to go to Jamaica?
I had to go to a wedding. I know.
It's your fault that we're like, what, 3 weeks?
It's actually my fault.
It's actually your fault, too.
It's actually mostly my fault.
We just haven't had a good, found a good time to get together. We've been busy. Life gets in the way.
Yeah.
What can you?
But it was mostly my fault.
Okay, we'll blame you.
No, well, we're back now.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're back.
That's
now.
what matters.
But,
that's what really matters, though.
How many weeks has it been? Like 3 weeks? 4 weeks?
Has it been?
It's been 4.
No, it has not been 4
Well,
weeks.
it's been 4 weeks since I went to Burlington, and you guys didn't do anything then. You guys didn't record anything. And I think it was probably the week before, maybe even 2 weeks before that, when we did the Bonucci.
Damn, you're right.
Because that was in July.
That sounds about right. Yeah, that was in July. Oh my God. It's been a while, but we're here.
You went to Burlington, then you guys went to Portland.
Yeah, 2 weeks after. Two
Joe
weeks
just
ago.
came back from Jamaica.
Jamaica was awesome. It was the first time I've ever actually been on an all-inclusive resort. So
those are the best.
Yeah, Rudy and I went on one.
It was fun
in the Dominican. Yeah, no, it's
gorgeous, the best, man.
Yeah.
Once you get there, you put your wallet away.
That's exactly what I did.
Yeah, those are the best.
And just
That's
walked
the way
around.
To do it.
The beach was amazing. The wedding I went to was amazing. What more can you say?
Yeah, even better. It's a wedding. Destination weddings are the best.
It was a lot of fun.
Oh, yeah.
And congratulations to the bride and groom again.
Did you bring your Juve jersey?
No. No, I did not. I knew you guys would ask.
You had like Juve boxers.
I had my training jersey for when I went to the gym. So there's that.
Oh my God.
You always got to rep your team. Just saying.
Yeah.
Anyway, what are we going to be diving into?
Needless to say, we've been gone for a couple weeks now. A lot has happened since the Bonucci transfers.
Yeah, plenty has happened.
Yep.
But what do we want to talk about today?
All right. So, most recently, the FIFA Player of the Year award, the 3 finalists came out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ronaldo, Mohamed Salah, and Luka Modric.
So Rui, you're shaking your head.
I don't like it.
He's shaking his head.
I don't like that at all.
Okay, well,
yeah. So we got a couple of things. FIFA Player of the Year award. The Champions League draw came out not too long ago. There's also been a lot of talk about the away goals rule in the Champions League and whether or not to get rid of it.
I'm not looking to get rid of it. I like it.
So you said they'll just listen to you after that. They'll listen to this podcast and they'll be like, we shouldn't get rid of it.
Yeah,
that's what's going to happen.
So. Yeah,
that's how groundbreaking this is going to be.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna win everybody over.
Was there anything else?
Oh, and just Ronaldo's scoring drought.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, what do you want to get into first? What's the first thing?
FIFA Player of the Year.
FIFA Player of the Year.
Yep.
And you said that you didn't like any of. Well, you didn't like the lineup. What would you have changed then? Because I don't entirely like the lineup either.
Yeah, no, I mean, this year's been very, very interesting. A lot of great players that could have been in there, and there's one that you could possibly mention. His name is Antoine Griezmann.
That's who I was going to say.
I'm not saying that he's not in my top 3, but I can see that argument being made where Griezmann
there's
could be
a clear argument for it.
I mean, I honestly, there's no way you can leave Messi out of there.
That too. I mean, he won 2 trophies.
Yep, he won.
He's scored a ton of goals.
I mean, like over Mohamed Salah, he should be in there over Mohamed Salah.
He should. No offense, Mohamed Salah, but like, it's Messi. So before we go any further and just talk about Messi and the people who are scoring goals, what about the defenders who also won stuff? Like, I'm talking about Rafael Varane. I'm talking about Umtiti, who were kind of both like really important for their teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they both won the World Cup together.
Yep.
Varane won the Champions League with Madrid,
mm-hmm.
and Umtiti won the Cup and League double. So, like, why aren't they even being mentioned? Why is it just the people who are scoring goals?
You know, honestly, I don't think Umtiti should be mentioned. With all due respect to him, he's a very good player, but I don't think he had the best World Cup. I think Varane really held everything down.
He was the leader. I
He was
agree with
definitely
that.
the leader. And Umtiti, he played good, but not to the standards of where Varane was playing. Not to that level. Varane was lights out. He definitely proved me wrong. As I mentioned before in previous episodes, I was and you guys know me, I was a very, very strong critic on Varane. I always thought he was overrated. I always felt that he was just, he has a ton of potential, but he never quite got there. Nowadays, it's hard to put defenders up there because I think in this generation,
The Leo Messi, the Ronaldos.
the Lionel Messi, the Ronaldos, the Mohamed Salahs, the Griezmanns, the Ibrahimoviches, it's so focused on the attack that teams don't even defend anymore.
Yeah, and I mean that's a problem because there's two parts to the game, right? There's attacking and then there's defending. There's no defenders in this list, which is just mind-boggling to me.
If I were to ask both of you guys who the best defenders in the world were, you would say, Joe, for example, you would say Chiellini, Dylan would say Ramos, I would say Godin. Okay,
Yeah,
for example.
That sounds pretty accurate, actually.
No, whether you guys believe it or not, are they anywhere near as good as Cannavaro, Nesta, Maldini?
No, those
players.
Those guys
the
are
players that we
legends.
grew up watching. Are they even close to them?
I mean, when you put it like that, it's hard to say because those guys are legends who have just won everything, absolutely everything. And maybe they're not. Maybe they're not up to that standard, but they're definitely important to their teams. They are brick walls, like especially the three defenders that you named. And I feel like they play against the best players in the world, like Ronaldo and Messi. So why not just have some, mix it up a little bit?
I mean, it goes back to what I'm trying to say is this generation. It's like it doesn't focus on defending.
Yeah,
even defenders are going out to score more.
Yeah, and I understand entirely. Like defending, it's not a sexy position. Like it's not. There's no flares. There's no style really involved. It's just all knit and grit, getting in there and just trying to destroy whatever's trying to be created. You know what I'm saying? So I get it. You want to have attackers in there. It gets more people involved. More people will probably be watching now because it's all these really high profile names. So, I mean, I get it. I would just like to see a defender in there at least once.
I would like to see it too, but it's not.
It probably won't happen. It won't happen.
No,
for
it's
a while.
not going to happen. No, especially when Ronaldo and Messi are going to be in the conversation. It's just they mean too much for their team. I mean, even right now, Ronaldo being at Juventus, he's in a little bit of a scoring drought, but he still makes that impact.
Yeah, he's still dangerous.
He's so dangerous, and teams are always going to prepare against him. They're always going to their game plan is going to be completely different just playing against Ronaldo than they would against anyone else or any other team.
Absolutely.
So,
going back to the players of the year, so would you put in all? This is a yes or no question. Would you put Antoine Griezmann above Mo Salah or Lionel Messi? Either one of those two. Who would your three be then?
My top three would be Ronaldo, Modric, and Messi.
Okay.
Definitely. And then probably number 4, I think I'd probably put...
Would you put Griezmann?
I think I'd put Griezmann over Salah. Salah had the better individual year, but I feel like when you're in the running for this award, you have to win something.
Yeah, right. And they did.
Salah
Liverpool didn't win anything. They didn't win anything. They made it to the final.
Amazing year. 28 goals, 10 assists in this calendar year.
Insane. He was insane with that front three in Liverpool.
And he had a huge
impact.
Huge impact. Without them, they would have no chance of making it to the Champions League final. Against Man City, forget it. He tore Man City apart.
Yeah.
And we haven't seen anyone do that to Man City.
No other.
Just him.
They ran away with the league too. They just totally ran away with it, but Liverpool put up a fight.
And
they wouldn't have done it without Salah. That's
and he
for
played
sure.
a huge part in just picking apart Man City 3 times this year. Once in the regular season and twice in the Champions League.
So, like we said, not taking anything away from Salah.
I can't take. I love the guy. He's one of my favorite players to use in FIFA.
I know you love using him, dude.
And I hate Liverpool so much, but Salah, I just love that dude. But I have to give credit to where credit's due. Like Griezmann definitely deserves it. I mean, he's won the Europa League. He's won the World Cup, 4 goals and 2 assists in the World Cup. Tied for the most on their team, second in the tournament for goals. They won the World Cup. Atletico qualified for the Champions League. They finished second in La Liga.
Yep.
You know, I think that's good enough to pass Salah.
Well, then now I'm going to ask you, who is going to win it? Who's going to win? Who do you think is going to win it?
I think it's going to be Ronaldo.
Okay.
I think it's going to be Ronaldo. I mean, this calendar year, he's just been flawless. 32 games, 34 goals, 7 assists, and that Champions League. He has that Champions League win. So that's the most crucial cup to win. And I think that's what's separating Messi from winning Ballon d'Or or the FIFA Player of the Year is that major trophy.
Yeah.
Is that major trophy. Yeah, he won La Liga, he won Copa del Rey. He had unbelievable stats this year. In 39 games this year, he had 35 goals and 18 assists.
Yeah, he was an animal, an absolute animal this year.
Absolute phenom.
Yep.
But I feel like you need to win this major cup.
The UCL.
You know, when you have someone like Ronaldo putting up the numbers that he's putting up, they're not as good as Messi's, but
they were good.
Great. They were so critical.
They're great numbers.
They're great numbers, but they were critical in winning the biggest club cup there is.
No,
So I think that's why Ronaldo's going to have the leverage. Well, Messi's not even mentioned in this, but in my top three, Ronaldo's going to get the leverage because he has the cup. But if it were the other way around where Messi won the cup, no doubt about it that he would
He'd have it.
Absolutely.
I think Modric is going to win it.
Really?
I think Modric is going to win it, yeah. And I know what you're going to say. No, you take Modric out of the Real Madrid equation. Like, pretend Modric is not even on Real Madrid. Do they still have a chance of winning the UCL? The answer is yes. But are their chances even better with Modric on the field?
Oh, yeah, of course.
Absolutely. Guy played out of his mind.
Yeah, he played great in the Champions League. And
he played
in the
great in the Champions League. He did well, super well for Real Madrid this year. Super well for Croatia, and they made it all the way to the final. He won the UCL. He may not have won the World Cup, but still, he was, for me, the standout player of the tournament. I think that he's going to win this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that this might be the first time that someone who hasn't been an out-and-out goal scorer will win this. That's just my take. We'll see I guess we'll see what actually happens. When you mentioned when this is actually like going to go down, right?
Yeah, Dylan, it's the 24th, I believe it is. Yeah, the 24th, right?
Yeah, September 24th.
September 24th, yeah.
So I guess we'll find out then, right?
Yeah, I think so. I don't know. I think Ronaldo's he's gonna take it. I think he deserves it.
Either way, all those
rebound year.
All those players that we mentioned all have their pros and cons
absolutely.
You know, who's gonna win it, what they did, you know.
Yeah.
If we could give them all an award, I would give them all an award because they were great.
Well, I'm sure they're all gonna make the top. They're gonna make the starting. What is it? The top 11 FIFA team.
Oh yeah. We'll see some of the same names pop up in that team.
But Ronaldo's rebound year after his abysmal first half, especially in the La Liga, it was really amazing to see how he just recuperated, just rejuvenated himself, and he played out of his mind in the last half
So is that does that lead into our sort of our next topic? Do we want to talk about Ronaldo's current goal drought?
Yeah, lightning is striking twice.
Like, do we want to talk about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So I think at this point last year with Real Madrid, he still hadn't scored a goal. Am I right?
Yeah, it was about 8 games in, but he was suspended the first 4 or 5 games.
Was that for his tax situation?
No, it was the 2 yellow cards that he received in the Super Cup.
Oh, okay.
In the Supercopa against Barcelona.
I remember that.
So he received his first yellow card for taking off his jersey, and then he was wrongly given a second yellow for quote unquote diving, but he was actually, I believe, tripped up, and it should have been a penalty, but the referee called it as a dive.
I don't have the replay.
Ronaldo took out his frustrations and decided to give the referee a little shove.
You can't do that.
Can't do that.
Can't do that. But yeah, so he got 2 yellows.
Yeah, so he got his second yellow after getting his red card after diving, and so yeah, after that it all went downhill. And after that game where he scored that game-winning goal against Barcelona, it was just, wow, this guy is he's picking up where he left off, and then after that red card, he just went downhill. And we're starting to see something similar this year, but I think there's different reasons.
New team,
yeah.
New league.
Even Allegri admitted that he didn't even know where to put this guy.
Yeah.
Didn't know how to play him.
Yeah.
Didn't know if he should put him out.
It was evident the first game.
Or plays at number 9, and we saw that. And we saw that when Mandzukic came in, he entered more that better. Number 9. He entered that number 9 position, and Ronaldo moved back out to his natural position, and he just started controlling the game. He got involved more instead of him just waiting in the middle of the field, waiting for crosses, waiting for the passes to come in so he can get those open shots. Instead, he was actually creating.
Yeah.
And he was making movement.
He was creating like stuff from nothing, honestly. He was just ripping shots.
Yeah, and he's taken 23 shots.
Yeah. That's a lot of shots without scoring.
That's a lot of shots without scoring, and I don't think it's the league itself that's that much more difficult, because this guy's proven to be a goal scorer in the English league. He's a proven scorer in La Liga. I think he's going to be a proven scorer in this league. I think he's been very unfortunate.
Yeah, that he hasn't scored. He's come close.
He should have scored.
He's come very, very close. You're right, yeah.
And that was the same issue as last year. Last year, he went on this drought, but he was still getting involved. He still had his shots. The shot per game, actually, his attempts per game were even higher than the years before. He just was not connecting.
Yeah.
He was just not connecting, and he was unfortunate. Kind of like what's been going on the last few games here in Serie A. That Mandzukic goal, the assist that he got credited for, should have been a goal for him.
It should have been a goal.
And he should have scored 1 or 2 against Chievo in the first game. And there's a lot of ifs, but I think he's going to pick it up, especially
I was going to ask you that. You think that I have a very strong feeling he's going to just pick up where he left off. Yeah, sure, maybe it'll take a little bit of time, but once he breaks that, once he pops that,
it's going to be like last year.
It's going to be last year.
I told everyone.
As soon as he scores a goal, I'm sure he's not going to be able to stop.
And Dylan and I actually had this conversation last year. We were like a little. I wasn't worried, and I don't think he was either. But Dylan, you remember when we were talking about Ronaldo's drought, and I was like telling you, I was just wait before the World Cup. And I think this was like sometime last fall. I was like, this guy is just going to erupt. It's only a matter of time that this guy's just going to break through, and he's going to just score. Yeah. And that's what he did.
And that's what happened.
And I think the same thing is going to happen. Juventus, they're an unbelievable team. I think they're going to be I think they are the favorites to win it. If not, they're one of the top 3 teams to win the Champions League. They're good. They're full of talent. They're good enough to help this guy score.
It's almost like too much talent because like if you're putting Dybala and Douglas Costa on the bench, like I mean, sure you have to put you start Ronaldo, and it's just a matter of how he fits into the rest of the system. But still, like the attack is just so stacked with talent, people are going to be sitting out. It's kind of ridiculous to see that, but you know what can you do? Really, they still haven't found that perfect attack yet, and where exactly Ronaldo fits in. But like you said, as soon as he starts scoring, I don't think he's going to stop.
Once everything clicks, it's a new team. It's a new club, different style to the game. Juventus is not Real Madrid, and I don't think Juventus is as good as. I don't think they're as good as Real Madrid were last season with Ronaldo.
Probably not.
No, I don't think so. I think Ronaldo had more help.
Yeah, he had better service.
Yeah.
But then again, that team was sort of built for Ronaldo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Benzema would kind of drop back. He would move to the side. Ronaldo would cut in from the wing, and everything would flow through him at some point.
And
they haven't found that yet.
And here, they're like, at Juventus, they're really trying to just work their way around Ronaldo, trying to figure out, should Ronaldo be on the outside? Should he be at the number 9? Should Dybala start behind him? Should he be on the wing? Should Diego
so many questions.
Should Douglas Costa play right or left? Or, it doesn't,
who knows?
No one knows. Or should Mandzukic play in the middle or outside with Ronaldo? It doesn't... they still haven't found it. I think it's only a matter of time when they do find it, and it's going to work.
And I feel like that's one thing people have really been criticizing, like why they've been playing so like lackluster, I suppose, is because of all those questions that Allegri, I feel like, is just constantly asking himself. He still doesn't know what to do exactly. He hasn't found his system.
Yeah.
And you can see it in every season he's been at Juventus. He's trying to get this team to peak in the spring, like the latter parts of this season. He wants them to be clicking and doing their best in the latter part of the season.
Yeah, it's only a matter of time.
So, honestly, I think that we've hammered that home. Like, it's just a matter of time.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, Cristiano Ronaldo will score goals. Just a matter of time, so be patient.
Yeah, and this is a warning for everyone out there that's just, hammering on Ronaldo. Do not open your mouth, because when people start opening their mouths about this guy, he'll just come out and just put 2-3 away easily.
Shut him up.
He'll shut him up, and that's what he does best, and he did that last season. He did that. He's been doing that his entire career.
Yeah.
So
just silencing the critics.
But moving on, though, I want to talk about the Champions League.
Yes, the champions.
So
we can't use the song because we'll probably get sued. So that was the best thing.
I know you're just spot on with that, Joe.
I thought I wasn't bad.
We might start getting some calls pretty soon.
I'm sorry.
But so Joe, who do you like?
Well, do you want to go? How do you want to do this? Do you want to go group by group and see, like, do you want to make any predictions? Do you want, like, what? I'll ask you this. Fine. I'll ask you this first. Do any groups stand out to you that seem to be more difficult than the others? Because there's definitely one that sticks out for me, and it might not be the same for you.
There's 2 that stick out, but there's one that kind of has the upper difficulty notch, and I think it's Group B.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. We agree.
Yeah. I think that's the most. I think anyone with a brainstem knows that that's the most difficult group.
Group of death.
Barcelona, Tottenham, PSV, and Inter Milan. I don't know how the hell that happened, but it happened. And then I also want to say Group C.
That was another one that I was
PSG,
thinking.
Napoli, Liverpool.
Napoli is like, I don't mean to like take you off your train, but Napoli is like super pissed that they were in the same pot as all those other teams, and so their president Aurelio De Laurentiis is fuming, and he's like, why are we with these teams? I honestly, there's no good reason. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't understand how
that's a tough ass group.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't understand sometimes how these teams get.
It's supposedly random, and they group them together by their UEFA coefficients, which go back 5 years.
Right.
So it's that accumulation. If your record is good enough, you can get lumped in with good teams, which I feel like was the issue with Napoli. They did well in the Italian league, which I think contributes to your UEFA score. So I think that might have been the determining factor in why they got lumped in. And then technically it's a random draw. But honestly, who knows? I'm honestly rambling. Those are just all the ideas in my head to try and explain to Aurelio De Laurentiis why they're in that group. But that is a really hard group.
Yeah, that's a tough one to pick. Who do you have winning in that group?
In
PSG,
Group C?
Napoli, Liverpool.
Honestly, I feel like it's PSG and Liverpool. I really do. PSG is just there. They got the oil money.
They're one of the favorites.
So why not? They're one of the favorites. They got Neymar, obviously.
And Mbappe is ready to explode.
Yeah, good call. So they have to be in there. And Liverpool has that UCL pedigree. They have a great team. I feel like they fixed a lot of the issues that were really evident last year. Reference Karius, the goalkeeper. I feel like
Alisson just.
Yeah, dude, I know.
What was he doing?
He
pulling off a Cruyff like he knows what he's doing back there.
And apparently he said that he does that all the time.
Oh, he does. We've seen it. We've seen it in the past, but
you don't need to do that. You don't need to do that. And I feel like a lot of goalkeepers are also playing out from the back who don't necessarily know how to do that. But we'll give Alisson the benefit of the doubt. You're a goalkeeper, you know.
I never like doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah, if you're put under pressure, say what you want about that pass that was coming to Alisson. Would you have done a Cruyff?
No, I would have got rid of it.
Right? You want to be cautious.
But he tried to recover. He tried to be a little cheeky, but no. Sometimes you have to play it safe. You cost your team a goal,
right?
And it could have costed you the win too.
And he's still a better goalkeeper than Karius. But like I said, we'll give Alisson the benefit of the doubt. I still think he's a positive for the team, which is also why I think Liverpool will go through. They fixed a lot of those issues. They're better defensively this year, I feel like.
Yeah.
So I mean, we'll see. Maybe Napoli can pick off a few points. Maybe they'll make it, but that's a tough group to try and come out of.
Yeah, I have the same two going through PSG and Liverpool. Napoli, I like them a lot. I think they have a good squad, but I don't think it's enough.
I mean, they also have Ancelotti as their coach.
Yeah.
So who knows? Honestly, the UCL is my favorite competition, and it's always full of surprises.
Right.
So we'll see. Do we want to backtrack and do we want to start with Group A?
Yeah, we can do that. So Group A, Joe, Atletico, Borussia, Monaco, and Bruges.
No, I'm not. I'm just saying. I like saying Bruges. Don't worry. I don't think that they're actually going to make it.
No. They're definitely going to finish dead last.
If I had to pick two to go through, it would be definitely Atletico and Monaco.
I have the same.
I'm just not. Borussia has not convinced me this year that they're good enough to make it through.
They lost too much. They've lost way too much.
So
since January, once they lost Aubameyang, that's it. They got rid of Socrates. They lost too many players. I don't think they have enough to do it. They have a lot of youth, but they're not ready yet.
Yeah, they have Pulisic, and he's great, but it's going to take more than that. I feel like they're sort of in a rebuilding sort of stage in their game. So, yeah, they're out for me.
So now jump into Group B real quickly. Barca. This is obviously the group of death. Barcelona, Tottenham, PSV Eindhoven, and Inter Milan.
Oh my God.
This is tough.
That's a tough call. For
I have
anyone.
Barcelona and Tottenham, but I can definitely see Inter going through too.
They could, and I wouldn't entirely count out PSV either.
Yeah, because there's so much.
There's just a lot of talent.
Too
in all
much
those
talent
teams.
that they can screw each other.
Yeah,
They can screw over each other. So that group's up for grabs.
I feel like
I don't really know.
It's gonna come down.
I think
to the
Barcelona
wire.
is gonna go through, no doubt, because they're Barcelona. But I don't know. That's tough.
I bet you it goes down to goal differential.
It could. Yeah.
I have a very strong feeling it'll one of the two teams will go through just based on goal differential.
Well, top three stay alive in Europe. The third place goes to
third
the
place
UEFA
goes
Cup.
to the UEFA Cup.
Or Europa League.
The Europa League, yeah.
Group D, Lokomotiv Moscow, Porto, Schalke, Galatasaray. I have.
Yeah, who do you have? I want to know.
Well, you know me.
Porto.
My team at heart is Porto. Rossoneri's after, of course, but I think it's going to be Porto and Schalke going through.
Ooh, interesting.
That's a toss-up, I believe.
I have Porto going through because Porto are Porto, and they do well in this competition.
In the group stage, they do pretty well.
They do
After
well.
the group stage,
But we'll see. We'll see
it gets
this
difficult.
year. And I have Galatasaray going through.
Okay.
Over Schalke.
I think Schalke is good, though.
Schalke is good. Galatasaray is that. I don't want to call. They're like a dark horse.
Yeah.
They're always there. They're in this competition consistently, and they always seem to pull off an upset. So we'll see about this one. That's another pretty tough group. I also don't like just crapping all over the Russian teams, but I don't think that Lokomotiv Moscow is gonna go through on this one.
I don't think so either.
It's just
I don't even know how they were in the top pot.
I know. I don't know.
I don't know.
We have
Like
to
I
get a
said
better
before,
understanding of that.
I don't understand how they choose them. But Group E, moving on to Group E, Bayern Munich, Benfica, Ajax, and AEK Athens.
I think I know who you're gonna pick.
Go.
Bayern Munich, Benfica.
Are you guessing what I picked?
Yes, and those are also my picks.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
you.
okay, see.
Yeah.
But
I do like Ajax. Ajax
has that.
I don't think they're good enough.
No, they had they sold a lot. Kluivert's not there anymore.
Yep.
And
Dolberg, I believe he's still there, I believe. But yeah.
They sold too much. They're a different team. It's not the Ajax of old.
No.
That was gunning to win this trophy every time.
They're like the little brother of the Portuguese league. The Dutch league.
I hear you, yeah.
So you have Feyenoord, you have PSV, and you have Ajax. They're like the little brothers of Sporting, Benfica, and Porto.
Yeah, they're kind of at that point where I feel like those teams focus a lot on the young talent, and then they sell.
They find talent. They either grow them from their academies or go out to wherever.
Yeah,
Europe, mostly South America, from Portugal. That is, Portuguese teams usually go after the South Americans, like the Argentinians and the Brazilians and the Colombians, and they grow them and then they sell them. That's what they do
because they make a lot. They make a lot
of money. And actually, within about 5 years, I think it was from 2010 to 2014, Porto actually made a profit of about 300 million euros.
That's insane.
From what they bought their players and then they sold them afterwards.
It's big money.
That's huge.
It's a good way. I mean, it's a good way to keep a club up and running.
That's what Ajax has come down to. That's what the Dutch league has come down to.
Yeah.
They grow these players. They find these players. They develop them. They become good, and
so it might be. So I guess what we're both saying is it might be a while before we see like Ajax, PSV, in the Champions League final.
It's just
hard as it is, but I think it's gotten harder.
Like when Porto won the Champions League in 2004, it's all those players blossomed at the same time.
Deco,
Ricardo Carvalho, Paulo Ferreira, Maniche.
Yeah,
Benny McCarthy, all those good players. And they had some senior players too.
Yeah,
from the Portuguese gold generation. But that's very difficult to encounter again. But moving on to Group F, Man City, Shakhtar, Lyon, and Hoffenheim.
All right. I think we can all see this one coming. Man City is going to win the group.
Yep.
And then I have Shakhtar.
Really?
Yeah, I have Shakhtar. They've been doing pretty damn well in this competition for the last few years. I mean, Lyon is the only other really standout.
That's
team
why I
in
have
that
going
group.
through, along with Man City.
I don't know. I'm still not totally convinced that Ligue 1 is entirely competitive. And Lyon to me doesn't seem like that killer of a team, and Shakhtar is. Like I said, that's just my opinion. That could be entirely wrong. Who knows? But you have Man City and Lyon going through.
Yeah, I do.
All right.
But
Well, we'll see. That's another. These are all just predictions that we're just pulling at a first glance. So anything literally could happen from the first game, and that would set the tone for the rest of the tournament. But
last
moving
two
on.
groups. Moving on to the last two groups here. Group G, really quickly: Real Madrid, Roma, CSKA Moscow, and Victoria Pleasant.
I know who you're going to pick, and it's going to be the same as me.
Yep.
I already know.
Real
Real Madrid
and Roma. Yep.
There, done.
Yeah, I think those
That's
are pretty
self-explanatory.
Yep. Group H.
This is my favorite group,
Oh,
and I'll tell you,
yeah.
it's not because of why
I
you
know
think.
who you're gonna pick.
Juventus, Man United.
Oh, okay. I thought you were gonna do that upset on me.
No.
Juventus and Valencia.
No, I think Man United. So the teams in this group are Juventus, Man United, Valencia, and Young Boys. I have Juventus and Man United going through. I think Man United are definitely talented enough to make it through. They're, I mean,
they have
nothing.
to figure out what's going on over there because
Yeah.
they have the talent to go through. But Valencia too.
They're tough.
Good.
They are
I can
good.
see them winning this. Not winning the group, but I can see them going to the next round.
Oh, totally. That would be a toss up between who get. I have Juventus topping this group. There's just
I mean, I think Man United needs to figure themselves out. The whole Mourinho Pogba situation. Lukaku needs to
start scoring more as opposed like he scored two
against
goals. Sure,
Burnley, but
that's Burnley.
He
should be scoring against Burnley.
He needs to perform to where he's expected, to what he's expected to.
Yeah.
And if that happens, if all this works, and this team gets together the way they're supposed to, they can be dangerous.
Yeah. Absolutely.
But right now they're a disaster. Hopefully it clears up. I think it's going to clear up. But if they don't fix things over there, if they don't figure it out, if it doesn't work, they're not going to Valencia is going to pass.
Yeah, Valencia.
But I think it's
going
to work, and I'm going to go with Man United as well. Obviously first Juventus. I think Ronaldo's going to score quite a few goals.
I hope.
I think he's going to score against his old club too.
But like I said before, that Juventus is not the reason why I really like this group. It's because back in the 90s, Juventus and Man United used to play each other all the time because those teams were like classic, absolute classic teams. David Beckham, we had Pippo Inzaghi back in the day, Del Piero, all those players were just awesome. And they made some really good encounters. Like I think that they even played together or played against each other. I want to say it was the 96 semifinal. No. Yeah, I think it was the 96 semifinal that they played each other. And it just, I mean, two of the biggest teams in Europe just going head to head. And it's nice to see. It's going to
be great to see because it's Ronaldo's old team.
Yeah,
too. And you want to see that welcoming.
So many storylines that are just converging.
That welcoming
in one place.
Back to the Old Trafford. See how the Manchester United fans are going to react when he walks onto the pitch.
Yeah, what do you think's going to happen with that? Do you think that they'll give him? You think that they're going to clap for him and stuff?
Yes, they're going to clap for him. They appreciate him. They love him still. The last time he went to the Old Trafford was, I think it was 2013 or 2014, maybe 2015. I know it was a few years back. And he scored against his own club. He got a very warm welcoming. Nothing. He wasn't mistreated or anything. and they were still chanting that they wanted him back. They wanted him back. And at that time, it seemed like he was going to finish his career there. Huh. And now that he's with your boys, your club, it doesn't seem like he will. Yeah. But moving on, so that's going to pretty much take care of all the groups.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's only going to leave one last question.
Oh, boy.
Who is going to win the Champions League?
You don't think it's too early to say? I think you know who I'm going to say. It's too easy. You can never count them out. I feel this is our year. This is Juventus's year. We have the best player on the planet. We have a great team. I just don't see any reason why we can't go all the way and win it. I just can't. Who knows what will happen? I just have a very strong feeling this is our year.
I mean, Juventus went out of their way this offseason. They got Ronaldo. They got back Bonucci. Mm-hmm. You know, you're just upgrading. You're upgrading from the center back. You're upgrading from the forward standpoint. I think they should win it. I think they will be able to win it. If they get their stuff together, which I think they will, they're going to figure everything out. They're going to be dangerous, and I think they will win it.
Is that seriously your pick? You think Juventus will win it?
Do I want them to win?
I know.
Absolutely not.
I know you don't want them to win.
If I had to guess, and maybe I'd win $1 million guessing correctly, yeah, they'd be one of my choices.
Okay.
I would probably say Barcelona or Bayern.
Okay. You don't think Madrid have a good chance this year?
No. I don't even think Modric is going to be there in January, after January.
You think he's going to go to Inter like everyone said?
I don't know about Inter, but I think he's going to be on the move.
That's a hot take. I like it. No, that would definitely shake things up.
I don't think he's going to be there, man. I don't think so.
Okay. We'll see.
Especially if he doesn't have if he doesn't start off well.
What if they give him a new contract? Do you think it's up to him, right?
I guess it's up to him to sign it, but I don't know. Something's telling me that he's going to be packing his bags real soon.
He's
accomplished everything there.
We will see.
We'll see.
So we both say Juventus have a really good chance then. Wow, yeah. This isn't. I'm acting like this is the first time we've ever agreed on anything, but we'll see. Was there any? What else did we want to mention in this episode?
So in this, I definitely want to talk about the away goal rule. So
can you explain that situation a little bit more to me if you know anything?
I don't know.
It's
been a topic that's been going on. It's been
going on for a while.
It's been going on for a while. It's been a few years now lately that certain coaches don't feel like it's fair that the away goal is implemented. They feel like it's outdated because back then, I think this is an excuse. They say back then, the away team had to travel by bus. It was hours and hours of driving to get from one city to the other.
Quote unquote harder, right?
Yeah,
it was harder to score.
I think that's all a bunch of malarkey.
I know what you really wanted.
I think that's a bunch of garbage. PG. I think it's absolute garbage. I think it's just people being butthurt. I think it's very, very difficult when doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter if you're Juventus, if you're Bayern, if you're Real Madrid, to go into Camp Nou and beating them and scoring against them at Camp Nou.
It's hard.
Or like it is to score against Real Madrid at the Bernabeu, Bayern Munich at the Allianz, Juventus at the Allianz. Even a team like AC Milan or Inter Milan, teams like them, when San Siro is full, that is not a fun place to play in.
Yeah, for the opposing team. Yeah, for sure.
I think it plays it makes a difference.
Well, I don't know if so let me ask you this question then, and it's going to be like to the contrary. I heard this on the ESPN FC podcast. They said they were talking about this rule too. They said that one of the reasons to get rid of this rule is because teams are just attacking so much. And this kind of goes back to what we were talking about earlier. Attack is such a focal point for current teams that it almost, I don't want to say it totally negates, but it almost negates the weight of an away goal because they're just throwing everything forward. The likelihood that they're going to get a goal is quote unquote better. So why give them that advantage?
Okay, so
I'll say this. I totally agree with you. I think the away goal rule should stay because I think it makes games a little bit more exciting. I think it pushes the opposing team to sort of play a little bit better. But that's just me. What do you have to say about what ESPN FC had to say about that, like the attacking part?
I think it's rewarding when you play at home, you're on your turf, and you're able to defend the opposing team that comes to your city, to your field, and you defend them. You keep them out of your off the scoreboard.
Yeah,
I think that's a reward, and then it makes it more exciting. For example, if a small team, okay, for example, say it's FC Porto against Barcelona, and they're at home. Porto plays the first game at home, and they manage to tie 0-0, or even tie. Let's stick with
say
0-0,
sure.
Okay, or even going up 1-0. They score a goal. They manage to pull one up forward, and they go into Barcelona.
Yep.
Okay.
Going to come now.
And they tie, or they manage to score away.
Yep.
Something that Barcelona couldn't do.
Yep.
I think it's right because there's only 2 games.
Yeah.
There's only 2 games that can be played. What are they gonna do?
Yeah, I don't know.
If only 2 games are going to be played, I think the away goal is fair because you know why they want to say
a goal is a goal. I feel like is what they're gonna say. Just a goal is a goal. Let them all be counted the same.
Yeah, they want it to count. They want it to count all the same. Oh, it doesn't matter if it's home or away. But you know what? I think if it's that logic, they should play a 3rd game. But I think that's too much.
I feel like that's what they would have done back in like the 60s. I think that they might have done that once or twice. But that's a lot. That's a lot.
The away goal was introduced in 1965.
Oh,
so
okay.
maybe they did
Later
it before that.
Earlier than I thought.
I don't like it. I don't like it. I think it makes it more exciting.
I think it's also just a part of the game that we know too, that we grew up with. So it makes it that much more important for us.
Yeah,
why
absolutely.
It should stay. So I like you said, it makes the game more exciting. It makes teams push themselves to the limit. Like I feel like you remember the Juventus Real Madrid games last season.
Mm-hmm.
Those games wouldn't have been nearly as exciting if Juventus hadn't tried to pull that comeback off.
Yeah.
And that was part of the away goal thing.
Absolutely. And people go in with a different tactic, with a different strategy, with different tactics and a different strategy each game based off of it. And I think it makes it far more exciting. But like I said before, I don't know. I don't think it's that big of a deal having this. I think it's good the way it is, as is. The away goal to decide, I think it's far more difficult.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult if you're able to score more away than it is at home.
Yeah.
So,
and there's no guarantee that they're going to get rid of this. There's just seems to be more talk than usual that the powers that be might get rid of it.
Yeah.
I mean, we've already seen VAR get introduced into the quarterfinals of the Champions League. So, I mean, anything could theoretically happen, but there's no guarantee that they're going to just get rid of the away goal rule.
Yeah, and
who knows?
It's all about this whole like fairness. It's like, oh yeah, we scored 3 goals in 3 hours or whatever it is.
Yeah.
3 hours of football, and you scored 3 goals in 3 hours of football. why don't they play? Well, it's fair to go straight into overtime. Well, if it's all about fairness, then what should they do about the 30 extra minutes of overtime?
Yeah, right. Yeah, that makes sense.
One team is going to be at home for 30 extra minutes.
Yeah. So,
I think I think
just
playing
do away
at home,
goals.
Yeah,
just do away goals. Make it easy.
Because having the away goal logic throws out that whole extra 30 minutes.
Yeah.
One team has 30 minutes extra because they're not talking about fairness or whatever it is.
Yeah.
I think it's
there's no ambiguity at that point. It's away goals.
It's away goals, and that's it.
Done. Move on.
That's it. That's my take on it, and that's it. I like it. I like it. It's what I've grown up watching. It's what a generation before us watched it.
There's already been so many changes to the game as it is. Like we need to keep some things similar.
And I think it makes the game far more exciting. Far more entertaining. But
agreed.
But yeah, I think that's gonna wrap it up for this week, Joe. Yeah. Always a pleasure, man.
Always a pleasure seeing you.
Is there any last thing that you want to add to the show?
I do. One thing for anyone who's wondering, the UCL, the UEFA Champions League, kicks off Barcelona versus PSV. That is the first game that kicks off on the 18th of September at 1 o'clock. So set your DVRs, do whatever you got to do. I feel like that's going to be a really exciting game, and we're going to be in for some really awesome football.
I think so too. I think this year is going to be really exciting. The whole Ronaldo transfer. It's another team that we're looking forward to watching. Real Madrid, we're going to look forward to them, how they're going to respond.
Yep.
Are they going to prove everyone wrong and actually go for 4 straight?
If it's anything like this year's World Cup, it'll be good.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be good. So, yeah, one last thing. Guys, if you all want to follow us on Twitter, it's at RCR_report. Our Instagram is at redcardreport all together. And that's it.
We'll see you online.
Stay tuned.